All right, team, what's going on? I'm Tim Jenkins, and welcome to All Things QB, where I watch every single clip and break down the most important ones. Today, we have Caleb Williams, wild card round as the Bears take down the Packers. Guys, this is flat out awesome. I'm so excited for this one. But before we jump into it, please make sure you like this video and you're subscribed to the channel. And as always, FTA this thing, which means comment for the algorithm. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. I always say you can wait till the end of this video and hopefully I earn that subscription. But without further ado, let's jump into the film. All right, team, we are fired up for this one. We're starting off with a little third and long screen, actually, but it's funny because you watch these things on the TV copy, right? And you go, hey, you're like, what the heck? We threw screen on third down. Then you get the wide angle, the tight angle, and you start going, oh man, I get what they were thinking. What I'm sure the Bears saw on tape was, hey, third down pressure looks from the Packers, especially third and long pressure looks. And they probably saw third and long pressure looks regardless of formation, because right here we've got bunch, right? We've got our Y, our F, our Z. We got our single receiver backside. We got our back here. Packers still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys walked up, which means they're playing 2-on-3 out here. Now, obviously, one of these guys is going to bail or he'll drop down, right? That's if you get this guy bailing out, you're probably going to get his zone coverage. If you end up getting this guy rolling down at snap, you're probably getting cover 0, okay? With all that being said, you know from the film study, they must have said, okay, hey, listen, on third and long, we might get a walked up pressure look here. And if we do get that and we're in bunch, guess what? On one of these early ones, we can steal one by just throwing a little bubble screen, right? We can throw a bubble screen. We can trust our guys to go 2-on-2, and then we can go pick this thing up. And that's exactly what they do. I'm going to freeze it once the ball gets into our receiver's hands. But look at this thing. You know, DJ's doing a great job. You've got a double to here, right? DJ's going to double all the way up to here because, listen, they're playing some sort of zone coverage where he's got deep third, or you could even say deep half. Hard to tell if this is Tampa guy. And then this guy's dropping out as another zone defender. So it's like, man, they caught them in a perfect look. You flip that thing out there, you get the double team climb up. Guess what? We got a first down on third and long. Third and long, you convert with a bunch bubble screen. Okay, and again, a lot of this has to do because of these disguises. Look at all these guys walked up at the line of scrimmage, right? Walked up double A. Looks like an overload to this side. And then what else does it save you? It saves you all this pressure of trying to sort all this stuff out. If you know, okay, hey, they're going to give us this sort of funky look, walked up look on third and long, especially our first third and long. And you know on film somewhere they showed it where they gave this look on third and long in the middle of the field against bunch. And then Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams go, hey, you know what? Instead of trying to sort all this out, what if we just went ahead and flipped screen out there and beat them on one of these early third downs? You know, you flip screen out there, you beat them on the early third down. Guess what? Are they as eager beaver to get into this later in the game? I'd be willing to bet you no, right? Because they know, okay, hey, they're going to beat us with some of these quick throws outside. Gosh, I can't tell you how good this is from Komet and DJ too. This combo double. This is exactly how you should do it. And then DJ releases at the perfect time to go get that corner and then give Luther a chance to get up. I just well designed, and I'm telling you right now, just incredible execution. Next one we've got for you guys, we got another third and long on that opening drive. Another third and long on the opening drive. Another great job executing. Anytime you see these third and long conversions, it really is it's a huge boost to your team, honestly. You know, as an offense, you start converting some third and longs, and man, it starts to feel good. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. What do you notice immediately? Do you see a pressure look on third and long? No, right? You see soft shell coverage. You know, you see quarters. So right now we've got an empty formation, right? So we've got, what I love is that we're in OT 1. What does that mean? That means no backs, one tight end. So we've got our one tight end here, okay? You got your F, your Z, your X, and then what you would call your H, but really it's not an H, right? It's a receiver. What we're working to the concept side is they've got levels. He's either going to be in or out, and then DJ's just on the under. Safety's going to give ground. Corner's going to give ground. This defender's probably going to get too wide, and then you'll see DJ sneak behind it. You got quarter to this side, and then you've got two defenders here because it's a 3x2 set. You got three receivers to this side, two to this side. Caleb's going to go ahead and pick a side, and then he's going to work just 1 to 2. That's all it is, right? You see that mic plussed all the way over to your trip side? What I mean by that is this mic is plussed all the way over here, right? So Mike, Sam, Will. You sit there, you go, okay, hey, I got him all the way over there, so I'm going to work this Will backer if the Will carries vertical, which is exactly what he does. He doesn't carry vertical on this, but he widens so much that he knows DJ is going to be able to sneak in behind him. And then because that mic was plussed over here, there's all this room now in here. Whereas if he would have played a more traditional Mike backer and then maybe leaned this way, could have been potentially more problematic for this play for the Bears. Instead, and I'll let it run, you can see how now that Will widens, boom, we can sneak it into DJ, and then DJ does a good job of getting vertical enough to go ahead and get that first down. Another big conversion, man. These third down conversions. Third down conversions are just huge for these offenses, especially the Bears when you think about, man, these opening drives, these first few quarters before, of course, we get into the third and fourth quarter, which is just primarily owned by Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. But this is just flat out exactly what you want to see. Man, the great opening series. Great opening series. Here I've got a no grade for us. I just wanted to talk through it because it's the third down. It's not third and goal. It's actually 3rd and 4, right? They had a first down available. We alert to this play, right? He cans it to this play. You know, it's hard for me to try to figure out on this one what we're trying to execute. Looks like you've got Rome as the isolated receiver on this little drift route. So it looks like you've got Rome on this little drift route here. You've got back out of the backfield on the bullet. You've got Loveland on the under right here on like a corner. Not sure what DJ has. We can take a look at it. DJ on, who knows what that is, honestly. But then you sit here and you go, okay, what did we end up getting from the Packers? We ended up getting a pressure look. So we ended up getting this guy firing, right? So they got 5 coming. We've got man-to-man across the board with our cover 1 safety right here, right? And just, you know, so we're being transparent in our grades, okay? You sit here and you go, what do you love against man coverage down tight in the red zone, especially post-safety man-to-man? This would be what you would be looking for. This corner route you really love, okay? However, I don't mind the Loveland one-on-one on the under either. What you're probably not wanting to do, which is his eyes go to the right, you got no shot really at this drift route because that safety's robbing it. Now listen, Caleb could have gotten fooled by the coverage, and that's perfectly valid. I've got a clicker, I'm slowing it down, I'm rewinding it. But you really just don't want your eyes there. To me, the progression here is you're probably working Loveland as your 1, you know, and I think there's a world in which you say, okay, hey, I trust my big body tight end. And then you're probably getting out here to Luther on this corner. And I think if you were to sit there and you were to go, okay, you know, do we have Loveland? Yes. Do we have Luther? Not really. You'd have to throw this one up here. It's more of like a low percentage throw, I'd say. So to me, it's tough because it's like, man, you'd love to see him work to Loveland here. Obviously, you could work to DJ. I'm not sure if this is the correct route. If you were going to say, oh, hey, what route could DJ be running there? You know, it's like an under, up, under, right? Like make it look like an under and up, and then you're running back to the under because we've got that corner route behind it, so it would make no sense for him to be on an under and up. You know, a tough look. a tough look. Do I think Caleb can process this and get to Loveland? I do. However, again, like we always talk about, do we truly know their progressions when we're sitting here speculating? Of course not, right? We're not sitting in those meeting rooms. You know, we haven't taken a consulting job with the Bears yet. But, you know, would I tell you, hey, I think we're trying to throw the drift route, the Shin 6 route against cover 1? No, I don't think there's a world in which we're trying to do that. You could argue that, hey, we should have our eyes on the back here, get him the ball early, right? You know, Swift needs to get his head around now, you know, so you could body him up right here and hope he wins the one-on-one. I think that's a valid argument if you were to argue for having your eyes to that side. But even then, you still are getting to Loveland and delivering a dime, right? Then at that point, Luther's out of it. But I just think probably eyes in the wrong spot. Okay, this one we've got a great, man. We've got a 4th down dime. We're just going to enjoy this. The pitch and catch here between Caleb and DJ. I mean, the Ben Johnson aggressiveness in this game. Borderline insane how much he went for it and believed in this team. There's a piece of me that just flat out loves it. There's another piece of me that goes, brother, this is the playoffs. This ain't week 17. You know, this is. But guess what? I'm sitting here breaking down the tape, and he's winning wild card home playoff games for the Bears against their biggest rival. So let's, I guess, default to go ahead and thinking, you know, Ben obviously knew what he was doing. This is a flat out tremendous throw. Okay, so you got 4th down. What are we going to do? We're going to short motion in. We've got Loveland. I really love it because what you end up getting is you end up getting Loveland on this. You motion him in. You get Loveland on the sit, right? Hey, if you all of a sudden get these guys getting soft in coverage, great. Take Loveland on the sit. You've got DJ on the over, and then you've got Rome on the in. So really, you're probably thinking Loveland to DJ back to Rome. Okay, Komet's actually more on like a chip and then like a late vertical. I'm guessing that's in case, hey, you get like man pressure where, hey, we feel like they might lose him, or hey, all this is just messy, so you want to get out here and take a shot. You know, to me, Komet's not really in this progression. He's more of just like a late outlet or an added option. So you can see 7 jumps Loveland, and when 7 jumps Loveland, right, DJ gets lost. Caleb does a really good job with his eyes going Loveland to DJ and just ripping a shot in there, man. Let's look at it from the tight because you can see how much eye activity we have. A little short motion. Look at Caleb. First and foremost, the catch, right? Bang. We got to clean some of these snaps up. That's just not what you want on a 4th down, man. Holy smokes, that's a catch. You can see him trying to work Loveland here. Nope, gets to DJ, rips it. Like, that is just great. Great job working his progression in a huge moment. And let's not forget about these boys up front, man. We got a 5-man pressure. And look at this. Look at this from the 5-man pressure here, team. That's a great pickup, man, and a great job with our eyes. Loveland to DJ dot conversion. Loveland to DJ dot conversion. Golly. One more time. Good footwork. Owning the concept, everything about it. This I've got a no grade, even though it's an interception. I've got a no grade marked because you sit here and you go, you know what? It's just obviously a busted route from Luther. Yeah. That's a tough one. It's a tough one because they have the concept. They have exactly what they want. You can see he cans into it. Cans into it. And just, it looks so bad on film, right? You look at it on film and you go, what is Caleb doing? But like Luther's, I mean, he's gone from the start, right? He starts on the wrong side of the formation. Hey, then they're going to shift over, right? They're going to change it. Okay, Caleb cans it. Obviously, to me, this is that dagger concept, not, dagger. It's a mixture of dagger and cross. So what you have here is, or you have this, right? We've got the mesh here. Okay, you've got mesh here. You've got this over route, and then obviously Luther's supposed to be on the end, to where you can really probably read this thing honestly 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You can of course eliminate guys in your drop, but 4th and 6, look at all these options. So to me, the mesh is covered up, right? I think you sit here and you go, this guy's covered, this guy's covered. You're not really thinking that, hey, we've won that one, right? But you can see how this in route would be wide open. If Luther runs this thing, you can see exactly where he'd be putting this. Instead, Luther's throwing his arm up as if Luther thinks it's a busted coverage, because he thinks this corner has his eyes inside too much, and he thinks he's lost, but he's not, right? He's not wide open, and it's not a busted coverage. We need to roll on the in cut and be wide open. Instead, Luther does his own thing. Caleb can't see, right? He's got all those big bodies in front of him. He can't tell. He can't see what's going on. So he goes to throw Luther on the big in route, and guess what? Luther ain't there. So then Luther's not there, and then guess what? It looks like a lazily thrown interception. And I'm thinking this is supposed to be an in cut for a first down. Obviously, we're going to have to, we need some clarity from either the post-game interview or follow-up questions this week, but I'm assuming that that's a bust on Luther. And he needs to run that in cut. It's another concept, though, that you sit there and you go, okay, hey, so it's another 4th down that we don't convert. But to me, I'm looking at it from the film perspective and from the coaching perspective, and I'm going, guys, we should have converted it. I'm sitting here saying, we should have had this one. Instead, it goes down as an interception. Now, listen, is it better than them starting on their 40? They're starting on their 10? Of course, right? So it's actually not that terrible of an outcome. But when you compare it to, hey, it could have been 1st and goal at the 6, then it's a horrific outcome. This one, we just got a beautiful dot to Loveland. There's some of these throws, man, that you guys are going to see throughout this film breakdown where you go, holy smokes, this kid is special. It is hard to find these sorts of throws littered all over the tape for him. The biggest moments. I mean, geez Louise, dude. That's thrown with some tempo. Motion across. We get to 2x2. Just what they end up having is you've got this out here paired with a seam. It's like a seam, but like a slight bend in it, right? You got the in cut, you got the sit, you got the wide. If I'm going to be perfectly transparent, Caleb's obviously hunting with the football here and getting aggressive. But like this, we'll call him the Sam because our tight end is at the side. This Sam is doing a good job of getting depth, right? You're thinking as a quarterback, hey, I'm going to hit this little thing in this window in front of this driving safety. But you're hoping the Sam doesn't get this sort of depth. Like the depth that Sam backer gets, he's doing a great job. But you guys are going to see from the tight, what you're going to see is Caleb really doing a good job with his eye and his eye manipulation we always call it eye manipulation, even though a lot of people are like, it's a helmet manipulation. It's like, no, duh, dude, but it's eye manipulation from a quarterback perspective. Anyways, but you sit here and watch him with his eyes, watch him place his eyes backside. You see, this whole time he's thinking, I'm going to move these guys this way and this safety. I'm going to keep him out here, and then I'm going to win against 56 and the strong side safety. I'm going to win with this ball placement. That's exactly what he does. Just incredible, man. And that's a great catch, too. Loveland made some big time plays. Colston Loveland is one of those draft picks for me that I said, man, what are they kind of doing? I didn't really get it. And then I watch him play football and I go, I get it, baby. I get it. This one's a bad. He wants this one back. When they watch this on tape, he's really gonna want this one back. We've got we've got the Hank concept, but instead of a double curl, we've got double cop. 4th down, and we've got our cop routes. Man, we've got them. This is one Loveland's gonna want back too, because he's gonna want back his release. He's gonna wish that he would have made this guy miss instead of allowing himself to get rerouted. I just think everybody's going to want this back. Okay, so you sit here and you go, all right, so we're going from 3x1 to 3x1 on the other side. All right, so you got this shift. And then what's going to end up happening is Colston Loveland's going to run a deep hank. We're going to have Luther and Rome on these cop routes, sit routes, and then you got DJ Moore to the field on this Oklahoma. So you've got him on the deep hank. He's trying to work the deep hank. You've got these cop routes, which are these corner stops, right? So corner with the stops, and then you got DJ on the out up here. What you're doing is you're reading, this is your first progression, and then you're working these sides based on, like, it's really what we would call a feel concept. Whereas a quarterback, you kind of feel like, okay, hey, I feel like they're adding coverage from this side, so I'm going to work this way, or you feel like they're pinching from this side, so I'm going to work this way. And then I'm assuming he can get to DJ late or early. I'm guessing that's more of an alert. What you're going to first see is that you're going to see Colston Loveland. We're going to watch his route first, but he allows himself to get rerouted. That's what really slows this. Like, he can't allow that. That is a really good job by 7, but we can't let ourselves do that. So then it turns into more of a wrapped shot versus a set deep hank. What you're going to see, though, is you're going to see that if he just would have gotten off his deep hank and gotten to Rome, that's going to, I don't care if this guy drives or if he stays here. This is wide open for Caleb on 4th down. So that's one where you're going to go, man, he's going to wish he had that one back, because I think it worked out exactly how they liked it. And I get it. At the end of the day, you had a one-on-one with your tight end. But the second you get your eyes there and you realize, oh, man, he's gotten rerouted into oblivion, we have to move on past it. You can't just keep battling on that. You got to say, okay, hey, I got to get off of him. He just got rerouted in outer space, and I got to move on to my cop. That's one that I just think Caleb and I think it's going to get coached up, but I do think Caleb's going to sit there and go, man, I should have just worked to my weak side cop. But again, it's also easier said than done, easier said for me, but I do think that's one that they can clean up. All right, team, really quick, a huge thank you to today's sponsor, HelloFresh, because they have the best meals in the game. You guys know, we're a family of 6. We got 4 kids, 9 and under. They are super picky eaters, and they are devouring these HelloFresh meals. They love them. We like them because they've got larger portions. We can go on there. We can be like, hey, we got a family of 6. The portions come correctly. Plus, they're really easy meals to make, and they're super healthy, and they're unreal. Now, listen, I think this was the best ad dollars HelloFresh has probably ever spent, because what they did was they spent ad dollars. They sent us some meals, and now they've got a lifetime customer because my wife loves them. I love them. They're really good meals, and they're healthy, and they're efficient. We can get in there. We can make sure, as we're on the move with all the sports we've got going on, everything we've got going on, getting the kids to practice, getting the kids to school, we can make healthy meals. So for me, okay, the biggest thing is you also get free Zwilling. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, if I'm going to be honest. 4-star chef's knives on your third box, okay? It's a $150 value plus 10 free meals, and your first box ships free with the discount code. Bear with me. TimJHFZWL. Don't worry, it's in the description. You guys can click the description and make sure you use my code to get this deal before supplies run out. And thank you again to HelloFresh. They really are the best in the business. You guys jump over there, support them. They're supporting the channel. You guys know the deal. Let's jump back into the film. Here we have just a straight up dime. You guys are going to love this one. I'm telling you, man, there were some absolutely big time throws on this tape. This one ends up in a drop from Colston, which you sit there and you go like, man, we got to have this one. But you also obviously have a ton of respect for the game he had. Oh, but I mean, obviously we just showed you a vertical where you go, oh, that's a dime. Then we followed up with this one where it's just flat out special. All right. I'm not really sure what we have the big boy doing out here. All right, so we've got our extra lineman in the game. We're in probably heavy personnel. I don't. Let's watch him, and then we'll talk about the rest of the play because I'm not sure. He might supposed to be running off. I mean, maybe he's supposed to be on a post. I don't think so. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny. You got this here with this. You're reading this thing 1-2. Komet will probably be on some sort of outlet route in the flat. But you guys, look at this, man. Look at this throw. With somebody in his face, layers it over the top. You guys need to look at this from the tight to fully appreciate it because it's a great throw. But look at, you guys, we're getting, our left guard is pushed into our lap. Ugh, Colston, man. That's one we just have to have. But I need you, look at that, guys. Freeze frame that. Look at that. I have my left guard is about to hit me. My left guard's about to hit me, and I'm going to rip a ball that's that good. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. So it's 25 air yards with someone in my lap. It turns into a long handoff. That's all it is. It's a long handoff. And we just, drop it. I mean, that's it. That's all, right? You end up dropping it. Oh, that's a tough one. It's a really tough one. Now, again, Colston had such a good game that we can go, all right, hey, I don't mind it. But, because we're going to get it right back here with Colston. But I do think, man, it would have been great to hit that one. You guys are going to see here, this is a really good pocket navigation, really good throw. Everything that you want to see from your quarterback is executed right here. This is flat out awesome. We'll get back to the why. We'll break the whole thing down. This one, when you're looking at it, the thing that's going to jump off the tape to when we keep watching these is how many of these sail routes they hit. It was really like the Packers were ready for the Bears in cuts, right? The amount of in cuts you see when you play the Chicago Bears. What they weren't ready for were these sail routes. This is the concept you've got here where you've got this ultra high, you'd probably alert this thing. You probably say like, hey, it's alert, or you could label them as 1. You could label this as 2. You could label this as 3. But the real thing is, at first we're going to start. I want you guys to let's watch Colston Loveland, because at first I want you guys to see this route. You see him lean inside. Really good job. It's a great job there. Okay. But I need you guys to watch Caleb, because this pocket navigation is perfect. This is exactly what you need against pressure on third down. You guys, that is as good as it gets. And then I love the usage of DJ Moore here because they're with DJ Moore being what we would call the flat control. This guy has a really hard decision. Do you get depth and take away this sail route that's a more difficult throw? Do you come up and take DJ Moore? Because if you get out, DJ's catching this thing and he's easily getting the first down. This guy's in a bind. This guy's got a vertical threat. And then look, you have 1, 2, 3 guys covering green grass, 4 if you add this guy in, but he's actually trying to get over there to help. It's just really well designed, really well executed. And you can see how it just puts the corner in a bind. You know, you can't possibly play both. Perfect design, perfect execution. Again, it just felt like the Packers were ready for the crosses, the digs, the daggers, everything that you see when you play the Chicago Bears. But man, it didn't seem like they had a good quality plan for these sail routes, these out routes, these corner routes. And then what I saw was you see this transition in the second half where what you start to see more of is them throwing, I don't want to say exclusively, right? But just really hammering those sail routes. You're going to see one where it's like they throw it 3 times in a row. We're going to have one sequence where it's like, you know, even more sails. So just a great play, great execution, really good personnel usage too, because at the end of the day, you get Loveland on this sail who's turning into potentially the primary target in this offense. But then you're also using a guy like DJ Moore, who everyone has a ton of respect for as the flat control. It just virtually makes that corner's job impossible. Here was great, man. We didn't really run that many boots. We didn't really boot it that much. When we did, man, look at this. This was a heck of an executed boot play. This was really darn good. You know, we can into it too, which to me, every time you see Caleb can into something that then turns into this big of a play, you've got to start thinking, man, we're making some really good steps in the right direction when it comes to how we want to execute this offense. But just well done from the Bears. You know, what are we selling? We're selling run to the right? You're selling ISO, you're selling lead. Really lead because it's off tackle, but we're selling this. And then all we're going to do is he's going to be our shallow guy. He'll be our slightly deeper guy. And then DJ's probably on some sort of corner route, some sort of deep control. Great extension, right? This is naked because you're turning this guy free, right? On these naked boots, you really sell run like you would where you'd turn this guy free. So you turn him free on naked, boom. Look at that. Look at these guys selling out for run. You've got one guy, I mean, this safety too, playing legit pass coverage. Everybody else trying to take away run. Caleb Williams out and about, baby. Great quick decision, great placement so that we can run with it. And then that's just flat out as easy as it gets. You will not see an easier throw on tape than a well-executed boot play. Gosh, just efficient level of football there. The thing that you've got to feel good about too when you watch this tape from an offensive perspective is just how dynamic they've been in the run game to where that's the end result of a play action, right? For this to be the end result on your boot action, where you essentially have 8 bodies, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, that was 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 8 guys here. This guy's going to be covering grass backside. He's going to be deeper than the deepest. He's running with the biggest threat, and you end up having 2 guys wide open. Now, I mean, I would be curious as to why Ben did not end up going back to boot. You know, I think at some point maybe you start to feel like, okay, hey, we're so far behind. Let's not risk a negative play where they don't even play the run at all because we're trying to fight back against a bigger deficit. You know, I could see that argument from a play caller perspective. But just with the way this thing popped, it feels like, man, maybe something we should have potentially gotten back to. Simultaneously, it's like, you know, this offense was rolling. Here's one of these deep ends that the Bears just hit all the time. And then, man, we got one here. It's a great ball to Luther. It felt like I really when I'm starting to peel back the layers on this tape, it's like, man, the chunk plays generating offense between the 20s was not our issue. They stalled out in the red zone, and then they couldn't stop them on defense in the first half. But you're not going to hear anyone say, man, we struggled between the 20s. Like, we were just ripping off chunk plays, it felt like. This is one of those plays that I love when I just watch it, because I don't want to say it's like this revolutionary idea, but it is just like they have small wrinkles to what I would call old school concepts that I just kind of like really respect that they're pushing the envelope on. Because this to me is, it's like a bender or a shin. It's really like a little shin from the slot, like a little rolled in route, which you traditionally see from an outside receiver, but we're getting it from the slot. You got this deep here. We got this little flash action, and then he's just going to rip this thing. Just a great 1st and 10 play. Part of what I love so much is it looks like one of those plays where it's a wrong side pull, where you pull this way and then give the ball this way. So it's like you just have so much eye candy where these guys are going to step up just a little bit, which will create that vertical void that he can then layer this football into. You see that step? Look at these linebackers. That right there. You see that? Just that little step up is going to help create this vertical void for us, where then you can just layer that thing in there. Look at the fake, guys. Watch the fake. Boom. Great flash. Little slight pocket movement. And this slight roll, too, also makes people start thinking, you get these sort of slight rolls from these quarterbacks, and this guy's not going to. But these secondary guys start thinking, man, boot, or you're getting something that's going to break out to that same side. Instead, this is it looks like wrong side pull, and then it looks like a slight movement, slight boot, and then we're going to almost throw back to that side. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on for a defense to try to keep track of. And it's part of why they generate so many guys where you look at it and you go, man, this is kind of just wide open. This is just easy money. There's just so much eye candy. There's so much going on with what the defense, their keys are and what they should be reacting to. They try to hit another one of those in routes. They try to hit that Y cross or the cross concept. They don't have it. Then Caleb gets to his check down. It's just flat out. This is good quarterback play. Get to your check down. Let him make a play. This is exactly what you want from your quarterback, man. This is quality quarterback play. You're going to see it here with this fast motion out. They run this play a lot. This is a little bit of a variation in that DJ's on this little blaze route. We'll rewind it now, but where you see this, you're going to get this. Basically, he's on this deep over route. Usually we pair that with the in. What we're going to do is kind of like this corner and then wrap to the in. Okay, Komet's going to work out here. He's going to be on a return. Okay, you're kind of reading this thing 1 to 2 to 3, and then I'm guessing our back sitting right here is actually 4. Right? So you're going to see, all right, Luther's not really there, right? That's a tough look. DJ kind of pops open right here. If he trusts this concept a little more, if he doesn't have to get bumped, if he can just slide in here, I bet you he ends up ripping it to DJ. Instead, all right, he's bumped off his spot. Now he's scrambling, and then you can see Swift gets out of the pocket with his quarterback, keeps his eyes downfield, gets to his back, and then just generates a 15-yard play. These guys are doing a really good job working with Caleb, these backs and receivers and anybody, where it's like we get in these scramble drills, man. These guys are doing an awesome job working with the quarterback. Caleb obviously doing a great job extending the play horizontally and staying a passer, right? Not thinking, I got to run it. Staying as a passer here. Swift gets lost, and then anytime you can throw these little check downs, right? And get, you know, anytime you can throw these check downs and then get 15 yards. These are the ones too for defenses where it's like a little bit of a backbreaker because you have great coverage, right? They have great coverage. They have a little bit of pressure too to where they force you to get out of the pocket. And then guess what? You get it to your back who then gets 15 yards. Like that's just, from a defensive perspective, they're sitting there like, oh, right? They feel like they finally have him hemmed in. They've got good coverage. They've got pressure. Guess what? He extends the play and then dumps it to his back who gets 15. Oh man, this one we got a no grade. This is the 4th down INT. This is one of those where this is probably one of the only times I think I really disagree with. To me, I'm thinking sneak, I'm thinking run. They just generated 5 yards on a run to get it to 4th and short. So for me, it's like I sit there and I go, man, they have it, right? Just run it one more time. Now, if they get stuffed on run, I'm probably sitting here second guessing and saying, hey, let's put the ball in Caleb Williams' hand on 4th down, right? So as a play caller, the guys that do film reviews like myself, you can't be perfect, right? With that being said, if you break it down just fundamentally of what they're trying to get done, they're trying to show this. And they've got 2 guys on these routes where it's going to look like they're running. The Bears run a lot of this play where we call it machete, where you get these double deep overs, these double crosses. They're trying to make it look like that, okay? But instead, these guys are going to pull and work out, okay? And then they've got this guy, Komet coming on the shallow cross as an outlet. I want you guys to watch, though, how impossible of a look this is. Because literally, DJ slips out of it, who is your primary. Because DJ, just look at that defender. This is, DJ's would have ended up wide open. So we sit here and we second guess the play call. We do all this stuff. At the end of the day, just based on what you're seeing this defender do, DJ would have crossed him up and been wide open for a touchdown. Okay, but DJ ends up on the ground. Our other guy who's running this ends up on the ground. And then all we have is Komet on the shallow. Hold on, buddy. Sorry, team. I had my youngest in here. For those of you that don't know, we have 4 kiddos. We have our 5th on the way. Anyways, my wife slept horrible last night. Kids are on the loose right now. But what all we have is Komet on the shallow. Like DJ would have been. The more I watch this, the more I understand completely what Ben was trying to do. And the more it adds to this narrative of, man, if we could just execute, we missed you have the one where I feel like we should have ran the in route. Instead, Luther runs the go. Then you have this where if DJ keeps his footing, holy smokes, it's probably a touchdown. And then Caleb does a good job, right? It's, both your guys are on the ground. I got nothing. Let me at least give Komet a chance. He tries to throw it up and give him a chance. It ends up as a turnover. So Caleb leaves this game with 2 interceptions, and you go, did he really have 2 interceptions? Right? Or did we just basically have 2 4th downs where you go, we had a shot at it, and it ends up as 2 interceptions? And then you start thinking about, man, were we really actually more in control, more in this game than it felt like on TV? Because when you can see these concepts in action, you start going, man, I think we maybe, I thought we had and then you start thinking, man, we had a heck of a game plan. This is one that I just flat out love. Like, look at how long Caleb tries to buy time for the concept, not to run, for the concept. Look at him. He's like, come on, somebody do something. He's staying as a passer this whole time, then turns on the jets. This is what we need more of, man. Head first dives. You do not want to be in the sliding game, in my opinion, anymore. The way that they mark you back on it, the way that guys then sometimes at times they're going in, you end up taking a shot in the head. I honestly think the head first dive is the best thing for a quarterback now. And then Caleb using it, he ends up getting the first down instead of if he slides there, they mark him back and they don't get the first down. You can see they're just trying to run stick to the bottom. It got the speed out. That's a horrific speed out, but with the stick. Inside out read. You know, defender's doing a good job getting horizontal. But, like, really, everybody's blanketed. I mean, if he gets his eyes to DJ right here, he probably sticks it on DJ in the middle of the field. But at this point, he's so far off the progression and buying time that it's, you know, who knows where his eyes are, right? But, again, just a great job creating, getting down to a degree, protecting himself to a degree with this head first slide, but really getting to the point where still getting the first down, which is the most critical aspect of that scramble, is making sure that you finish with a first down. All right, team, really quick, we just launched memberships. You can join the FTA Army or the Film Junkie level. We've got an extended cut Bears breakdown dropping tomorrow with 7 more clips. You guys, when you go over there and you join the membership, it supports the growth of this channel so I can keep pumping these things out. As long as you guys enjoy them, please consider jumping over there and doing a membership. You guys know the deal. Let's jump back into the film. Here we've got the first of what ends up being 3 consecutive sail routes attempted, which is part of what I think, just again, looking back at the game and the structure of the game and the flow of the game, ends up being what I think the Packers were least prepared for. And the fact that Ben Johnson wasn't afraid to just reload it and get back to it really is a huge positive in my mind, because I think it's tempting at times as a play caller to try to move on, right? Oh, okay, hey, we hit that, boom, what's next? And it's almost like, man, hey, Sale's been there this whole game. It seems like the Packers are really sitting on us, trying to take away the middle of the field, take away the in cuts, take away the dagger, take away the cross. And let's just lean on it. Let's not overcomplicate this thing. You're going to have a clear out here from DJ, okay? Either a stick at 8 post or a vertical, right? You're going to have the sail route here from Loveland. Flat control here from Komet. This is as basic as it gets of a sail concept. Thinking 1 to 2 to 3, right down the ladder, okay? Reverse ladder, like you're climbing down a ladder. Packers are in what? Packers are in quarters, right? Standard quarters. Quarter, 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 quarter. Hook to curl. Mid hook. Hook to curl, right? Perfect concept as a quarters beater, because this corner is going to turn in and lock man basically with this number 1 receiver once he clears, which then means you have a safety trying to cover inside out on this sail concept, on this sail route. Caleb here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitch, ball. Just perfect, right? Why do you need the hitch ball is because you need time. You need to give DJ time to clear this corner, and he ends up really clearing the corner and holding the safety with his vertical threat here. Okay, I want you guys to watch DJ, and then I'm going to freeze it, but watch DJ, that vertical press. You see how at the point that the ball's already out of Caleb Williams' hand and DJ's basically bracketed? That's how you can destroy quarters coverage, is have a guy vertical threat, you know, with this stick at 8 post. You could call it a lean vertical, whatever you want to call it. But that's exactly how you can shred just base quarters coverage. But the reason to me the 5 hitch is critical is because you got to give time for DJ to get down there to clear all these guys. If you just try to play too early to the sail, you're going to end up exactly what I said. You're going to be too early, and then that corner is going to be able to fall off of it more effectively. You know, the corner still falls off it, and he's the one who forces Loveland out, right? But if you are too early to some of these sail routes, you'll see guys fall off of it and make a play on the ball. Just awesome, man. And then guess what, team? We're going to throw another sail route. Again, it's part of what I love about what Ben was doing on this drive is he was just saying, you know what, I think you guys can't cover a sail route, and we're not going to get off. We're not going to stop doing it. We're not going to just get off of it for no reason. We're going to continuously try to pop this thing. Different looks, right? This is more of a play action. Motion across. And then remember, team, when we say play action, we're saying play action because play action is that the quarterback and the running back are the only guys doing it, because you can see this O-line's in pass pro. Watch our left tackle from the get-go, okay? But our O-line or our quarterback and our running back, they're on the fake. Boom, okay? Rome's going to be on this leaned in vertical. He's going to be on what we would call an ultra high. So it's more leaned in vertical and then super high corner. Loveland's on the sail route. And then Komet will be on some sort of flat control. So again, same progression. We're getting to the same spots in a slightly different manner. We're going to utilize this little play action fake, this flash fake. But again, what are we going to do? We're going to hit Colson Loveland on a sail route. Okay, here, this is more, to me, this is cover one when you kind of watch it unfold, where you've got this guy here, man. You could call it cover one hole, where it's like I got my center fielder here, my hole player here, right? Again, could this easily be zone coverage and these guys are just, good defenders because they're in the National Football League? Of course. But to me, you're treating this more like man. I still think it's cover one hole, but it is what it is. Great execution. Look at Caleb here. Watch him. Action. Great drop. Navigates in the pocket. You guys. Look at this long handoff. Just a long handoff, man. Just an absolute rocket. I love, too, that he's feeling this pressure off the edge. This nickel pressure. And not that he doesn't trust Swift, but just like that's a tough block. And I just love that he just ever so slightly floats away from the pressure to buy himself a little bit of time. I mean, it's insane to me. We take it for granted. That's 30 yards down the field, and it's just right there. Just, hey, I'm going to go ahead and hand this thing to you 30 yards down the field. Guess what we're going to try one more time? We're going to try a sail route to Colson Loveland. I would have loved for them to finish it here. And this, is this really a sail or is it like a corner? You say corner, right? But anyway, it's another outbreaking route. I just love, just because in my head I'm sitting there, I'm trying to put myself in Ben's shoes, right? It's like we're gonna throw 3 straight sails down the field to score a touchdown on you in the playoffs. And if I'm being honest, we have it. Now I don't know if he grabs him or if Colston just is kind of slow out of his break, but I also love just, hey, we're starting in bunch, which they've seen, right? They've seen a bunch. Then we're going to motion DJ across the formation, right? So we're going from 3x3 or 3x1 to 2x2. You've got DJ Moore on the out, and then you've got Colson Loveland on the corner, right? This is really just a smash variation. Okay, if you've ever played football, smash is like that hitch with the corner. This is just a variation of smash. You're getting man coverage here. Okay, I honestly like the look in man because you have a bigger body tight end working against a nickel. I mean, we almost hit it. We almost hit this thing. It feels like Loveland's a little slow out of his break, right? Like it really does feel like, man, he's just a little slow out of his break here. Could be fatigued. Could be getting grabbed. To me, it feels like he's getting grabbed on his hips right here. That's what it felt like in the game, too. These refs they really were letting them play. There was a call late that the Packers didn't get, so to me it's like, okay, hey, I'm fine with it. Shoot, the ball still touches his fingertips, I feel like. Doesn't it? No, maybe not. Maybe just outside the outstretched. He's 100% grabbing him and holding him right here, right? Isn't he? I don't know. I think that that's a miss, but what I will say is I love it. Okay? I absolutely love that one. Here we've got just a great little roam scramble. Just so we can have clarity too, the way that drive ended was with the touchdown run by Swift, which we'll break down on the extended cut breakdown. But yeah, that just a good play call. Here, I love this, man. These receivers, these skill guys are in tune with Caleb when he gets into scramble runaround time. They really are, man. They're in tune with them. They do a great job working in unison. Got a little short motion from Loveland. I'm going to be really interested to see what coverage people come out in now with Loveland, because you start thinking, are we going to see bracket on our tight end? At some point, you got to bracket him, right? But then are you really going to be bracket on the tight end and then isolated on Rome and Luther and DJ? And that's a tough decision. We're going to get the short motion here with this little sit route. We've got what I would call a shin 6. Tom Brady calls a drift. Working behind. Work this thing 1-2 or 1-2, depending on what they're coaching him up to do. You can see Caleb has it, the concept, where he's going to have Rome right here. He feels pressure cross his face, so he extends the play. Rome does a really good job of not immediately. What I want you guys to see is he doesn't immediately, Caleb's starting to scramble, right? He doesn't just for no reason sprint to the sideline. He's got a void, so he throttles in that void. He stays in that void. He works with his quarterback, but he works at a tempo. He throttles himself in the voided area to where then he can go down and make this play. Just awesome, man. Let's see it here. It's a good little twist from the Packers where it generates pressure, bumps him off his spot. Hard to tell if that hit the ground or not, but rule to catch, stay to catch. They hustled up to the ball and snapped it, which I love, just the command of everything right now for Caleb. But this is just, again, take for granted how hard that is to get your body to move your body like that and drive this thing that flat, that far down the field. It's not easy, man. And we see him do this a lot. This is the play. This is actually insane. 4th down. It's actually crazy. This isn't just like a, hey, great ball. This is an actual insane person throw. That's maybe the dumbest throw I've ever seen in my entire life. Just how improbable this is, but then also when you factor in that it's Caleb Williams, highly probable. This, I'm telling you guys right now, is 100% more impressive than even the throw to DJ Moore from this regular season. The fact that he's going down because he gets hit, everything about this is what legendary moments are made of. What they're trying to do is they're trying to set Luther on this deep hank, and then they're going to sneak this deep over behind it. Sorry. Oh, son of a gun. They're trying to set Luther on this. Okay. They're trying to set Luther here. Bang. They're going to sneak this. That's what they're trying to get. Now, I do want you guys to see, again, not that he's going to see that, but I do want you to see this Loveland slow release and how they forget about him, right? Caleb could just, now if he would have realized it, right? And I'm not even sure Loveland's in the progression transparently, right? I'm not sure how you get from, here to here to here to here, maybe is what we're thinking. But it's not like he's going to get to his fourth progression that fast. And then he gets this pressure right here, right now, because our right guard turns and runs, turns and chases. So, but I just, at the end of it, you go, holy cow. Just a perfect. I want you guys to watch our right guard, and because he chases, he's then not ready for this stunt that comes all the way around. Okay, you see him chase. That's what then, now he's out of position, right? Now he's got a lunge. What's crazy is that if we don't chase, Caleb probably finds Colston Loveland. He probably works through his progression, finds Colston, and the result is probably the same, potentially bigger. But because our right guard chases, we're going to get one of the better throws in Bears history in the biggest moment. So we have that to enjoy. We have number 73 to thank for that. Gosh, man. That is so cool. Watching these plays unfold is just insane. So we have that, and we're going to follow that up with what I think is a game-changing moment here on third down. I apologize. You got 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, Caleb gets to his check down against pressure. This, to me, was a game-changing moment. This was one of those moments where you start to think, holy smokes, they might do this. Just a great job getting to his back. He's got nothing, guys. You could say, okay, hey, maybe hit Luther and then hope he gets us to a 4th and 2. But it's like he's trying to hang on to this football if he can to give his guys a shot, right? Instead, he just finds his back, and that is just great effort. Great effort from 25. You guys, another throw where if I freeze this thing, look. He's in the air because he's getting hammered. And then this is just such a good job. Watch our back start his feet. You see how he starts his feet as he's catching this football? Trust Caleb's accuracy. All right, what shoulder is the defender not on? Start your feet, get going. And then Luther, look at him stick his head in here. Just gets rocked, but how great is that? My thing is we end the play with 2 guys on the ground. Both of them making huge plays. He gets hit while he's throwing. He helps spring his guy. I'd love to see Rome just get a little bit more aggressive flying in there to try to make a block. He ends up making the block. We get caught from behind, but a little bit more aggression. I mean, he dang near scored on this thing. Just a game-changing moment. Here we've got the Zacchaeus touchdown. That motion that they do, it's the reason it's so deadly is because of all these concepts they have off of the motion. They have so many of these concepts where it's this fast motion, and then they're throwing dagger, or they're throwing cross, or they're throwing some sort of outbreaking route, where they do this fast motion, and then they have something like this with a corner, or they have this guy release and he's on the in cut. They use this so much that it's like you have to start shifting bodies to that side. And then what they're actually going to do is they're actually just going to cross face with Zacchaeus. And because of the way the Packers played this set where you start bumping this guy over, that's part of what makes this thing so open, is he bumps against that motion. They're playing 3-on-2 backside, right? They've got 3-on-2. Sorry. They've got their 3 on our 2. So this guy's out of it. So as long as Zacchaeus can cross face a 7, we win this rep. It's exactly what happens. And it's one of the easier touchdowns I think we've had this whole season. And it couldn't have come at a better moment, right? With all the red zone struggles, all these times we've stalled out down tight. To draw something like this up, we need to, we're going to run through this one more time because I need you guys to see from the tight. I want you guys to see I want you guys to watch 7's reaction to the motion. Fast motion, he starts to bump. And because it's a fast motion, they don't really have the same time to talk, But I want you guys to watch Caleb. Watch Caleb, because he realizes with this fast motion, he sees 7 bail out of there. So at that point, he knows, hey, it's Zacchaeus' job to beat 7. Who is my biggest threat? He knows 29's his biggest threat. So I want you guys to watch Caleb's eyes. Go to the left to verify 29 exits. Once 29 exits, he knows that 7's going to get beat one-on-one. But I want you guys to watch Caleb verify. Watch him. You see that? See that little verification right there? Sorry. For this backer too. He's hidden by that camera. With this backer, watch him verify. Verify backers away. Okay, I know where to go. Boom. Replace him. Touchdown. That is big time understanding of the concept, understanding what we're trying to get done, who's our threat in this coverage, and then executing it. And then I love the excitement. Look at these guys right here. I want you to watch these guys right here. There's nothing like it. Boom, baby, let's go. Right back in this thing, baby. As good as it gets. Little 2-point play here. I love it. Get extra heavy, and then get extra heavy and shift to empty. Not empty, but shift to spread with extra heavy bodies out there. The second Caleb saw 31 isolated on Colston Loveland, he knew. He knew I have got this. Easy money. We're good to go. Look at this. Shift. Okay, so you go from, you could argue 14 personnel. I'd say 13 personnel, 13 heavy, because you get the extra lineman in the game. Okay, so we start out with an extra lineman in the game, and then we've got tight end, tight end, tight end, back. So it looks like we're going to get heavy, and we're just going to try to pound you here, right? That's what it looks like we're doing. So they match with way heavier personnel. Look at this personnel group on the field. They've got, right? Big body, big body, big body, big body, big body, linebacker, linebacker type, linebacker type, linebacker type, linebacker type, right? One coverage guy. That's what it feels like to me. Now, I don't know what these guys are labeled on the roster, but then you jump, hey, shift, right? Shift. You start seeing these guys all walk out. You got the isolated one-on-one, bang. Let's go. Little squirrel route, we would call that. You're going to go find that thing at the front pylon. You're going to sell fade and then snap back. We get blown up too on the right side, but it don't matter. Ball's out of our hand. This is just so good. For those of you that don't really understand what Loveland, we're trying to, a lot of times you get down tight, you get a personnel advantage, and you just run fade, right? They're trying to sell that we're running fade, except he's going to snap this thing back at the front pylon. That's what makes it a squirrel route. Caleb's just going to throw a really great football to this front pylon. You see sell fade, boom, snap back. That's also why that guy, a lot of people are like, why is he so, how did they create that sort of separation? Well, he's also inside shade. So he thinks with his shade, he's taking away slant. He's going to play inside shade. But, what are the most popular goal line routes? Slant or fade. Then comes a squirrel. So to me, it's like, this is just perfect. He's got to give depth because he's thinking, man, I got to go cover this fade route to the back pylon. It's a tight end out here. You're not really thinking, honestly, the tight end's going to run a squirrel. You're thinking the tight end's a big body, right? We're going to go throw that high shot, right? Give him a chance to get up and down with this thing on that back pylon. No. We're going to throw a squirrel route to our tight end. Look at Caleb here, too, footwork-wise. Punch, skip, ball. Yeah. Electric, man. Oh, that is just awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Let's just set the moment. It's the final drive. I got to rewind this for you guys. It's the final drive, and you guys, this is when it starts to hit me, right? McManus misses the field goal, and you start to go, holy cow, the Bears might win this thing. What felt horrific and a terrible start and borderline depression. At this moment in time, you start thinking, holy smokes, the Bears might do it. They might do this thing. There's snow coming down at Soldier Field. Look at that. Snow coming down. I don't know if that's snow or trash. I'm going to say snow. But, we get this little second down drive starter. Look at this. Skip. Gosh, ball. Everything about it. It doesn't have to be complicated. Right? They're running this play. They've ran a bunch. You've got this guy on the Hank. You've got this over route. Hank's, if it's there, take it. Caleb, good footwork. One skip, ball. 12-yard gain. Great little drive starter. Hey, get your feet moving forward, right? Get your feet moving forward. Get that first down. It's all about that first down, man. You start feeling momentum after that. First down. Look at that blitz pickup by our center. Really good job. I want to give credit, too, to our center and our right guard here because they got beat on a couple of plays or they've been, I've been hard on them at times. But I want you guys to look at this. Look at this. Boom on this pickup. And then I don't know which one of these guys are going to twist, but our right guard's there. Had Caleb Williams needed to hold on to this football, he would have had a chance because we did a great job picking that up. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. So that's how you start the first drive, right? That's how you start the drive that's going to seal this game. This one was a devastating one. This one was devastating from who I've always thought is one of our better players. I don't think he gets enough targets, but whatever. This one on third down was devastating because when I'm watching at home, it feels like, to me that the momentum, the air got taken out of our house, right? We're just 6 people watching the ball game. I couldn't imagine what the stadium felt like at this moment because it's like Caleb extends. The thing that's heartbreaking about it, too, is that it's third down and he could have walked to the first down. But instead, DJ Moore pops open, and I don't think anyone on planet Earth could blame him for giving one of our better players a shot at it, right? No one's sitting there going, oh, hey, why'd you give DJ a chance at that thing, right? Like, no one's thinking that. We're all thinking, heck yeah, baby, give DJ a shot. It's one of those that's just... you're getting a scramble drill. Oh. Man, it's a long handoff, too. You know, the long handoff. All right, let's freeze it because let's talk through this concept once we get Komet back across. Basically, to me, you get Komet across. They're trying to, hey, can we steal one here, right? Can we get this double vertical? Does someone end up popping open? They've got the corner route here, and then you got DJ. I think he's on a shallow that can pull up. There's also a chance that he's on like a little juke route where he's got just optionality. You know, you can tell Caleb's reading this. He's thinking, oh, I can sneak this into Loveland. I think that's what he's thinking. Starts to scramble. Ooh, just heartbreaking. Heartbreaking for DJ. Heartbreaking for Caleb. It's yeah. But they're gonna keep fighting. I just need to watch this one more time. This is to me what I'm trying to talk to you guys about is like, look, this guy's wide open. He's gonna make a great throw. However, it's 3rd and 3. This is part of what compounds this. Like, had this guy been flying upfield and is gonna hit him, great, right? Because it's like, hey, this is our only option. The thing that compounds these sorts of things where you feel like, oh, you feel the air out of the building is because we could have easily just converted the 3rd down right there, get us a fresh set of downs. But again, I think there's something to note here too, which is Caleb Williams continuing to stay as a passer. That's notable compared to what we saw last year and at the beginning of this year. That's notable. This is the best play design and execution that I've seen this season. It is so smart. It makes me so happy. This is awesome. Because what do? You quick cadence them. You quick cadence them on I don't know why that down marker was on 3rd down because I thought the DJ play was on. No, I guess the DJ play was on 2nd down. So this is 3rd down. I mean, there's a chance I thought this was 4th down, but it doesn't matter. But the fact that they go quick cadence, they go regular personnel. So you got to like, hey, why are they doing this? We're in regular personnel. So we're in 11 personnel. So we've got our Y here, that's our tight end, and our H here, that's our backs. Sorry. We're in 11, so our back and our tight end, okay? Then we've got our X, we've got our F, and our Z. What we're going to do is we're going to get up to the line. I want you guys to watch the center. He barely has his hand on the ball before Caleb snaps it. It looks like they're not ready at all. But the reason this works is because we're in regular personnel, which means they're in regular defense-based defense. This is a backer who's got to communicate this little rub play where this H, our H is going to pop wide open. But watch the center. Do you guys see how fast that happened? Normally it's like center gets down, turbo set up, like 20 wide, 20 set up, easy, can, right? That's normally what the operation you're getting from the Bears. Instead, they quick cadence it, set. And then because they quick cadence it, they catch this defense off guard. And guess what? Watch 55. Lost in space. That is perfect execution. And the reason it works is because of the personnel usage paired with the cadence. The personnel usage paired with the cadence is what then creates the fact that instead of this being a nickel or this being a guy who's used to coverage, because we're in regular personnel, we're in a more base personnel, they're matching with base, and then it forces this guy, 55, to be the key player. It's not one of these skinny guys who's used to covering and, oh, we quick cadence him and, okay, he can still get out there. It's one of these guys who's not used to this. He's not used to being in this spot. He's not used to having to really cover the flat with urgency on 3rd down. And then now he's got to cover the flat with urgency on 3rd down while getting quick cadenced. Like, that's what makes these sorts of plays so effective, so good. That's the brilliance of a good offensive coordinator or play designer or head coach, is it's everything paired together. It's all of this. It's not just some of it. It's all of it. That's what makes it great. And then, of course, the last one we have for you guys is the throat cut. Screen plus, smoke screen and go. Just, I'm not going to lie. I don't know about you guys watching this thing, but there was a piece of me when I saw this that goes, oh, biscuits, we scored too fast, right? There's a piece of me that's like, do you score too fast? Did you score too fast? All these questions start going through your mind. And then you're just sitting there thinking, I can't believe they're in the lead. That's what you start thinking when you're watching this. I could not believe that they came back and took the lead. There was a piece of me that started, my son loves the Bears now because of how much we've been covering them. And it's just like the joy, the pure joy. And then that little bit of anxiety sets in because the defense has to stop them one more time. But you guys look at this. This is almost, I'm going to say almost high school level install, but it's just not complicated, right? You get the vertical coming back on screen, make it look like you're blocking. Good Lord, Tim. Make it look like you're blocking, release vertical here. Make it look like you're blocking, inside vertical. Look at how many guys commit to the screen. All three of these guys commit to playing screen. I just want you to know that. Watch. You see that? All three of them take steps forward. And just no one's out there. And this safety has no chance, too, to really fly over to DJ because this safety's got this threat, right? If this safety ends up flying over top, Loveland's wide open. So it's like the safety's going to have a hard time. You see how he pulls up to play inside ever so slightly right there? And then it's just, what's funny, too, is you get a little body catch here from DJ, right? Drops that second or third down, whatever it was. You get the body catch here. He ain't dropping this one. He's going old school on this one. He's going body catch on this one. It was great to see these two connect on this, if I'm being honest. This was great to see because I don't know if there's a more deserving guy. If you just look back at DJ's career and, all the levels that his teams have kind of struggled at despite him excelling. Like, for it to be two that gets in the end zone right there, I'm digging that. I'm digging that. What do I have to say? I mean, insane game. One of the more incredible games I've watched, covered, broken down. Truly special. Truly, truly special. Like the ride that we've been on as a team, when we broke down Justin Fields, broke down last year, it felt just like it's a never-ending cycle. And to be where we're at now, which is where are we at? We're going to host a divisional playoff game at Soldier Field, a chance to go to the NFC Championship game. It's awesome. It's awesome. I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. It's been a blast. I hope you guys love this breakdown. Comment, let me know what you thought, who you hope the Bears see next week. And until next time, peace. All right, team, I'm sorry, because I want to answer the question, which is, what did they do? How did they actually? They just simply started executing more. That's it. You look at those fourth down clips early on, those third down clips early on, they had the play. They just needed to execute it more. So sorry. Gave you guys the piece, and then I came back because I go, man, I didn't even answer the question that I posed in the title of this video. So you guys still comment. Let me know what you thought. And until next time, peace.